Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining for the Youth Forum class today. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Before I start speaking a few words, I would like to actually take the blessings of all the Assembled Vaishnavas. And with their permission, I'd like to share some instructions that I've understood from the life of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva, you all have known, one know. Here, anybody who doesn't know who Dhruva is, we all know. Right? So we'll try to hear about Dhruva's fasting and what do we learn from this fasting. The whole of Bhagavatam talks about different devotees' fastings. No, I don't need it, I have it. But not all fastings are relevant very much for all people in all life stages. For example, someone who is actually very attached to the opposite sex and they are a little older, they are expected to read the pastimes of the Bhagavatam, that is Maharaja Yati or Puranjana story that Narada Muni tells Prachina Parishad, like that. But for youth, it's either Prahlad or Dhruva, because Dhruva is a very interesting personality. Both of them are 5 years. Prahlad also was 5 years when all these things happened. Dhruva also was 5 years when all these things happened. Let's try to actually understand what really happened and how Dhruva became serious in Krishna consciousness and how we can actually, in fact, in the purport, the first verse of Dhruva Maharaj fasting, Srila Prabhupada mentioned a very important aspect or important instruction in the purport. I'll just read the purport as is. Hearing Dhruva Maharaj pastimes of his austerities can immediately generate a feeling of devotional service in the heart of hearers. So that is the statement that Prabhupada gives in the first purport of the pastime of Dhruva. That means he's giving that anybody, he doesn't say devotee. Srila Prabhupada says, if somebody hears Dhruva Maharaj pastimes, in their heart, immediately it will generate a feeling of devotion service in the heart of the devotee, or in the heart of the hearers. So how does it happen? Let's see. Right? First we'll actually take the blessings of the Acharya, we'll do the prayers, then get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shara Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripasindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pucharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yes. So all the Puranas talks about the living entities. All the conditioned living entities are looking for happiness. Right? We all look for happiness. There is no living entity who wants to live in this world and not want to enjoy happiness. The Puranas actually give different levels of happiness. The first level of happiness, of course, they talk about the hellish planet where there is only suffering. The first level of happiness they talk about is the Swarga, that is the upper planetary system where there is a lot of enjoyment and happiness. But the focus is us. That means sense enjoyment to the best capacity. Like for example, the leader of the Swargaloka is Indra, right? Devendra. So he always thinks about how he can enjoy. And everyone else thinks that they are also enjoying, and he thinks that everyone is meant for his enjoyment. Everything in the world is meant for his enjoyment. That's what we also think. All the conditioned soul thinks about how to enjoy better. And Indra actually can really enjoy. It's not that Indra just thinks. We think, but we may not be able to enjoy because we don't have the assets. Some of us try to enjoy a little bit, but it doesn't happen. But in his case, he can really enjoy because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Now that's one level of happiness defined in the Puranas. The second level of happiness defined is the happiness that you get out of peace. Right? Krishna also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? He also mentioned the second chapter. There's a place. I forget the verse, but it's a very nice verse. It says, "Without peace, where can there be happiness?" Right? It's the 63rd, I think, 63rd verse. It says, without peace, how can you actually get happiness? They are actually indicating about Kailash, that's Lord Shiva's abode. In Lord Shiva's abode, all the Bhutaganas, his followers, actually, they are always peaceful. Whoever enters Kailash, they'll be always peaceful. How is that possible? You can actually see, if you see the whole family of Lord Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh, Kartikeya, you see their Vahan, right? Ganesh actually has Mushik, that is your mouse, and Kartikeya actually has snake or peacock. Both of them will eat snake, what you call mouse. And Lord Shiva himself has a bull, and Durga Devi actually has a lion. Where can lion and what you call bull stay together? If you put them together, one of them will go. But here in front of Lord Shiva, all of them are peacefully sitting next to each other. So very interesting because there is absolutely no hankering for anything. They're very peaceful. They're very happy. Now, I wouldn't say happy. They're just satisfied in the condition. That is also one kind of happiness. That is the second level mentioned. That can be a destination for people. Beyond that, they talk about the impersonal Brahman. The Puranas actually indicate that if somebody actually reaches the impersonal Brahmajyoti, they get this Brahmananda. What is this Brahmananda? Basically, it says that you are eternal. You don't need to actually bow your head to anybody else. No one is going to disturb you. It's just like you are put into a room. Every day you get food. Okay, no WhatsApp, nothing. But you get food every day, but no interaction with anybody else in the world. And no disease, nothing. You are just happy that you are eternally situated and nothing is required. You don't need anybody else's interaction, and you're just, I would say, kind of happiness. That happiness is actually called Brahmananda. Of course, the Vaishnavas don't accept that. It says like Kaivalyam Narakayate. The Acharyas say that such happiness they don't want. It's just like putting in a room, no interaction with anybody else, but you'll get food time to time, No TV, nothing, nothing, no reading, nothing. You just have to be sitting all the time there. How many of us can manage that? But if somebody is suffering from some diseases, somebody is actually having a broken relationship or tortured by the manager in the office, such a person that's better than this, right? That is why many people opt for that. That's one level of happiness. But beyond that, the actual Ananda, the Sat Chit and Ananda, that is actually there in the Vaikuntha planets. It's not there anywhere else. That is indicated in the Puranas. And Srimad Bhagavatam will include stories of all these three things. Sometimes Indra actually gets blown away, he does something and then makes a mistake, right? So he gets cursed and then he takes birth in this world. He does something. But in all these things, the Srimad Bhagavatam will compare. This is what you're going to get. You want this? But look at that. Krishna's pastime with the gopis, Krishna's friendship with the gopas. You want that. So they compare it again and again. You'll find in the Puranas, especially the Bhagavad Purana, that all these three happiness actually are explained and it's compared with the happiness in serving Krishna. That is why devotional service highlighted again and again. There, in devotional service, who is the enjoyer? Krishna is always the enjoyer, and we are the enjoyer. That means devotional service means when you serve somebody else, that person who you are serving, he becomes happy. When he becomes happy, automatically you will also become happy. So this is what is explained in the Bhagavatam time and again. And different, as I said, different leelas are meant for different people. Old people will actually read. Older people who are grastas should actually read the Ayati pastime. That is, forcibly get out of the attraction with opposite sex. If you don't do that, then you will never be able to overcome that. And similarly, for those who are newly married, they should actually read the Kardama Muni pastimes, right? So what happens, how Kapila Muni appears, and what happens there, all these things, the instructions Srila Prabhupada gives, that's very useful. Dhruva Maharajas for Youth Forum. It's amazing because Lord Chaitanya again and again heard this Prahlad's pastime and Dhruva Maharaja's pastime, not once or twice, again and again in Tota Gopinath temple. Gadadhar Pandit used to come and explain it, repeat it again. You hear everything over Bhagavatam over now, Mahaprasade Govinda. No, again you read it. So Mahaprabhu heard it again and again, and both of them used to cry. The whole Bhagavatam was actually erased because of the tears which used to fall on the leaves. Everything was lost, but still they had that. If you keep hearing Bhagavatam, especially Dhruva Maharaj pastimes, you will actually get the potency. There's the potency for even an ordinary hearer, not even a devotee. Ordinary hearer will become serious in Krishna consciousness. So that's what we are going to actually see today. So this day, the fourth canto, I think starts with the 9th chapter onwards, right? Little bit of introduction about the situation. Brahma is creating everything, and when Brahma is actually doing the secondary creation, there is Swayambhuva Manu. This happened in the Manvantara of Swayambhu. The Swayambhuva Manu actually has two children mainly, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Priyavrata is actually an elder brother, and Uttanapada is younger. And the conversation is between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So, because the devotees actually asked that we want to know about devotional service, immediately they went to the junior, that is Uttanapada, because Dhruva is coming there. Uttanapada actually had 2 sons. Before 2 sons, 2 wives. And interestingly, the names were very, very apt for the people's personality. The first wife name is Su-Niti. Niti means regulated, very chaste, and very, wonderful personality. Niti means you have Niti Shastra, right? Like that, who follows all the principles properly, religious, very religious. But Su-Niti, Su means just like Bhadra means auspicious, Subhadra means very auspicious. Similarly, Su-Niti means someone who is very, very principled in life. She had a wonderful heart. She was not very, very beautiful, but she was very, very chaste and very wonderful personality and heart. But this, her son was Dhruva. And Maharaja Uttanapada actually had another wife whose name was Su-Ruchi. In the olden days, they used to actually choose the names properly so that their behavior will be exactly like that. These days, actually, people don't see the Shastras or the horoscope or anything like that. They leave the name just like that. You go and ask a beggar and say, what is the name? Dhanapala. Nobody is there, but he's begging, but his name is Dhanapala. And nobody follows these days. That's why actually people have lost all interest in these things. No one knows how to give names. They give Tommy, Jimmy, and all these things, and then people behave like dogs, right? Because it's become like that. You give that name. If you give a proper name according to the Shastras, according to the horoscope, then they'll behave accordingly. So Suniti behaved exactly like that. And Dhruva, you can feel how did they name the person like that, and they behave like that. Ruchi means interest or taste or something which is very. It's creating kind of a interest in your life. Her name is Suruchi, and Maharaja Uttarapada had a lot of interest in her. Why? Because she was extremely attractive bodily. Her son was Uttama. Now, Maharaja Uttarapada was so attracted to this Suruchi, he never considered Suniti as his queen. He was not anything Suruchi used to do, he used to accept it. And one day, actually, in one of the Puranas, actually the Super Puranas, the details are actually mentioned. How Suruchi and Suniti never used to see each other so much, because Suniti was in a different palace and Suruchi was in the palace with King Uttarapada. And Dhruva used to come just to play with his dad. And one fine day, this happened that he was 5 years, and Maharaja Uttarapada was sitting in the throne. Talking to the courtiers, and at that point in time, this Uttama went and sat on his father's lap, and Uttarapada father actually started patting him on his head, saying that nice. The small children always feel very happy when the father actually pats them and puts them on a very important place, right? Because he's ruling, and this boy is going and sitting on his lap. So that's very attractive for the children because they get undue attention. Right? Somebody else is getting the attention, but they will steal the attention. So he did that, and Dhruva was also very inspired. I should also go and sit in my father's lap. So he crawled. 5 years he went up the stairs and he started climbing on his father's lap. Suddenly he heard his stepmother, Suruchi, scolding him, shouting at him, saying that stop, you are not actually qualified to sit on your father's lap. And he was shocked. He didn't hear this so far. Suddenly, in fact, all the pastimes which I mentioned in the Bhagavatam is all inspired by the Supreme Lord for a higher reason. It's not just it happened accidentally. No, it's all these characters are all drama party. They are part of the drama party. They do exactly what is being asked to do. So Suruchi stopped him and told him, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. And Dhruva actually turned around and saw that this was his stepmother, and he had no clue. And because when she shouted, Uttanapada did not actually respond to her. He felt a little bad, but he was just silent. Dhruva looked at his father. Father did not say anything. He looked at his stepmother, because his mother was not there around. So he looked at stepmother. Stepmother started saying, if you really want to sit on your father's lap, then you need to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you get the blessings of the Supreme Lord, then you will die. And you'll be born again in my womb. And then you get the qualification to sit on your father's lap. Imagine 5-year-old boy, somebody comes and tells this. These days they'll put you behind the bars. They'll say child abuse case. Suruchi will be under the bar, and the whole family will be inside the jail. But this happened. You can see that even today this happens, but Kali Yuga is totally ulta. No one follows any rules. But when Suruchi said this, he was shocked. For a 5-year-old boy to hear that you have to die, he's just born to play around, and then you say you're going to die. He was completely shocked. But he couldn't say anything because Uttanapada was not actually responding anything, and Uttama was junior to him. And when Suruchi said this, Suruchi became more, she took undue advantage. Why? Because Uttanapada did not say anything. So she started blabbering whatever she wanted. So that's why in the Shastras it is always mentioned, especially in the purports of Srila Prabhupada, it's mentioned very clearly that women should not be given independence like this. Because if they give, they'll bring ruination to everyone, not only them, the whole family. So they have to be actually trained properly. They should be actually kept in proper, I wouldn't say the word control, but in a proper position, situation, so that they understand their role in the society. So what can this poor guy do? He ran all the way to his mom. He was breathing heavily and ran. He didn't cry because he had the Kshatriya blood. If somebody scolds a small child who's either Shudra or below Shudra, they would actually cry immediately. They will stand in front of the father or mother and then start crying. He did not cry. He just heaved heavily. He was breathing so heavily that he said, "It's like this is not fair. This is completely unfair being done to me." So he ran. So when he ran, his mom was actually in her own palace. So when he ran there, and mom understood there is some problem because he's coming with such an angry face. He asked his mom, "Mother, today I actually went to the court and I wanted to sit on my father's lap, but my stepmother Suruchi actually stopped me from sitting, and she told me this. She told me that I should be born in her womb. Only then I am qualified to sit on my father's lap. Is that true?" And Suniti, being with Niti, she told her son, "Yes, that's true. Because your father likes Suruchi more than me. Because of that situation, I cannot actually go and argue anything with your dad. I can't do anything." So Suniti also explained to Dhruva, it's not mentioned in Bhagavatam, elsewhere it's mentioned, that she explained the condition of the situation, the world, because his father is more attracted to his the other queen. Even if she had to bring the son and go and then argue, saying that since you your son, please give him also a space, it wouldn't work. So she said, "I am not capable of going and doing this." So Dhruva was actually asking for some help, and Suniti bluntly refused that I am not qualified to give you help right now. Then after some time, Dhruva, in fact, Suniti also told Dhruva, "Go and play out, you'll be fine." Dhruva said, "No, I cannot, because it's burning my heart right now. Does my father thinks I'm actually a prostitute son?" That was the mentality he was showing. He didn't speak like that. But because my mother is not actually respected the same way as my stepmother, that means my father doesn't respect my mother. That means I'm born of someone who's fatherless fellow, kind of. So he couldn't take it. And Suniti said, she just kept quiet. And Dhruva asked him, "How do I rectify the situation? Tell me. I cannot take it as an I cannot go and play. I need to have an answer." Suniti said, "The only person who can actually really help you out, who helps everyone in the creation, is the Supreme Person, your God, Bhagavan. Because he is the one who has the power to change anything. He can change the laws. Anything you want, you can actually get it done by the Supreme Lord. Because he is actually the owner of everything. If you say, I want to actually have a body where the soul should not be inside, should be somewhere else, he will give that opportunity. He is that powerful. He can do anything. And there are pastimes like that, wherein the soul is elsewhere, the body is here. There are like that in Ramayana. There are different pastimes like that. Immediately he asked Suniti, "Now tell me, where can I find him? I don't know who he is, but where can I find this person?" For 5 years, it's really interesting to know that he's so dedicated to understand all these things. These days, you won't find people of that kind. 5 years, people say, don't bother, don't worry, just take care of your studies. But here he is actually asking that I want to see the Supreme Lord. So he told him, "I know that he lives in the forest." Which forest? That's when actually it tells the forest is actually the Vrindavan, that is the Madhuvan forest. right? So she allows where the Yamuna river is actually flowing. That place is where the Lord is actually always available. Please go there. That's if she doesn't tell go, says it's available. Then he becomes silent. He doesn't speak at all. And when the next day morning, without telling anybody, he goes away. 5 years. He leaves the house and goes. And as he goes, there is actually a few things that we have to understand in this aspect. How Uttanapada actually is dealing with Suruchi and Suniti. The way Uttanapada dealt with Suruchi, it's not the right way for anybody to deal with, because Uttanapada was actually attracted to the body of his wife, not even the soul. Right? So if he actually being a king would do that, that would actually give, it will set a very wrong example for everyone to follow. But still Uttanapada, there was no one to actually even question Uttanapada's position. If he felt really bad, there is a, why was he attracted? Because of lust, not because of love. He was just attracted to the body of his wife, the queen. So he demonstrated that what should not be done, did that. And there is actually a story which is Srila Prabhupada mentions about Akbar and Birbal. Because Akbar asked this question to Birbal, is it true? I've been hearing the very, because Akbar was one person, although he was born in a Muslim family, he was very benevolent for the Hindus too. Right? So he found his own religion, which is common for both Hindus and Muslims. It was called as Din Hilahi or something like that. The same. The Shastra says, Dharmam tu Shachar Bhagavat Pranitham. Dharma or religion can be given only by the Supreme Lord. But Akbar started something. It worked for some time. But anyway, so he actually had all, if you see in this court, except for Tansen. Tansen also was actually the poet. He was also actually from a Hindu background, but he gave names like that. Birbal. Birbal's name was actually Mahesh Das. He happened to be a devotee of Lord Shiva, very Vedic, and he was very brilliant, and that's why Akbar kept him as his court jester plus also the minister. So, after hearing all this thing that the lust doesn't end at all, even if the body dies, the lust will remain with the body, that means the soul or mind. Akbar asked Birbal, can you prove it? The Shastras say like that. Birbal says, even at the time of death, if you haven't controlled your life, especially from lust, anger, and greed, you will not be able to give it up. You have to give on your own. And if you don't do that, even if you do any other tapasya, any other activities, it will not leave. Akbar was not convinced. So Birbal said, okay, I will prove it. Give me a couple of days time. So he found out that there was one old man who was about to die. And he had a desire to see the king. And Birbal went and met him and told him, okay, I'll get Akbar. He was very happy. Because in the olden days, they had this feeling that the Naradeva, that is the king, is considered as a representative of the Supreme Lord. If somebody dies looking at the king, and the king is a devotee of the Lord, it's as good as seeing the pure devotee of the Lord, right? So then they'll actually get a better destination. If not the supreme destination, at least the Swargaloka kind of. So he, Birbal went and told him, I'll bring Akbar. He was very happy. So he came and told Akbar, let's go, I will show you. He said, why should you go and meet an old fellow? I will tell you there's a reason, but I need one help. Akbar had many wives, and one of the wives' youngest daughter, the youngest daughter was very beautiful. Birbal told Akbar, you should bring her also. Then why should she come to see? He said, bring her. We will go. You first go, then I will come. Then we will allow your daughter to come and say, dress her up nicely, and you should actually observe his eyes alone, nothing else. He said, okay, fine. Birbal is telling something, there must be some reason. So Akbar goes next day to even get up, a few hours before death. He was not able to even get up. But he looked at Akbar, was very happy, he smiled at him, and then he closed his eyes again. Then Birbal came, he was very happy, looking at Birbal. Again, closed his eyes. And the girl came. When the girl entered the room, he saw her and he was very excited. He looked at her and he was looking at her more like a nice lusty, oh, what a young girl, so beautiful and things like that. Now Akbar was shocked actually looking at this. And Akbar was saying, how are you feeling and anything like that. He was looking at her and answering. He was not able to take his eyes out of her, like, always looking at that. And Birbal, after that, told Akbar, did I not tell you? He's about to die, he's still seeing this. So then Akbar realized, yes, I agree with that. So this is something that is actually shown here because of his interaction with Suruchi. Just because of that reason, Suruchi actually was given a better position than Suniti. Right? So one should avoid this. This is the first instruction that we can understand from Dhruva Maharaja's life, that the way Uttanapada dealt with Suruchi was not the one we should be doing. Then it's also mentioned that if one doesn't learn how to control lust, anger, and greed early in their life, their desires will be unfulfilled at the time of death, and they will be very restless at the time of death. They will not be able to lie down peacefully because mind is still active, but the body doesn't suit. It doesn't actually allow. It doesn't allow them to fulfill the desire, but mind is still having the desire. So because of that, it will take you to the next body. Right? It will be restless. You'll be thinking, how can I die? Can I actually even commit suicide? I don't want to stay like this because I'm not able to move. But the desire is there so much, it's burning. Day and night, it's burning my heart. So they will actually become more and more violent. They will not be able to interact around with people, right? So that is one thing that one should be very careful on this. And Uttanapada, because of his soft corner for Suruchi, this is the second thing that Uttanapada made a mistake on. Because of the soft corner, he couldn't control her. One time, same thing actually, I read this long back about Akbar and Birbal again. I couldn't understand at that point because it was more like I didn't understand what it really means. Akbar told Birbal that in my kingdom, all the men actually are the decision makers. Only the men actually make decisions. Birbal said, I don't know about the whole world, but at least in this assembly, none of these people actually are decision makers. Their wives are the decision makers. Because all the husbands who are there here, they're all puppets in the hands of their wives. Especially the Shastras mentioned, if you want to actually have a nice Vedic lifestyle, not a devotional lifestyle, Vedic lifestyle, then women will actually have a higher control at home. And people said, and Akbar said, I won't agree. No, Maharaj, definitely all these people actually are controlled, they are puppets. Akbar said, prove it to me again. Akbar always asks, prove. And Birbal always tries something and then establishes that. So Birbal told Akbar, give me a week's time. So Birbal actually found out whoever is actually a nice family couple. He invited all the men to the court of Akbar. He brought all about maybe 100, 150 or whatever it is. They all came. Very nice family they have, they all came. So on the day, Birbal said, they all there, ask anybody you want to. So Akbar said, those of you here who are there, who are independent of their wives, who make all decisions on their own, step to the right. And no one stepped. And Akbar was actually a little worried, like what is happening? I actually tried to give the right thing. This is what it is. Maybe Birbal actually has fine-tuned these people in some way that they are actually answering in the wrong way. So Akbar again asked, let me ask it in a different way. How many of you listens to your wife? Please step right. Almost all of them except one person goes. He was very happy. At least one person is there in my kingdom who is actually saying that I will do things on my own. Okay. Then Akbar asks the person and then congratulates him. Thank you so much for standing at least on the other side. Now tell me, do you not actually listen to your wife? I can understand that normally men actually listen to their wives. The counseling is there, but decision is made by them. Is it not true? He said, I don't know about all those things, Maharaj. But one thing is guaranteed. My wife advised me, stay away from the crowd. So because they were all there, I was alone, so I said, I'm staying away from the crowd. So I'm following my wife's instruction. It's good for you, she told me. I said, okay, fine. Now I'm happy that actually you're able to identify when I'm actually a part of your kingdom. So Akbar was laughing and Birbal said, they are like, they couldn't stop. They said, normally when they are very happy, they give prizes to the people. So he gave something. But then Birbal told Akbar, look, this is what is the situation. That's what it is. If you want actually a nice family life, this is the situation. Then Akbar realized, yes, what you are saying is right. So like that, here, because this Uttanapada wanted to actually have a peaceful, not self-realized base, Grihamedi lifestyle, women at home has to be always happy. Women are not happy, do not have a family life. Be renounced life. Prabhupada in all his books always mentioned that our goal is to go back to God. Right? So if that is actually not required, then you have to follow this. So that was the second thing that is mentioned that Uttanapada made a mistake on. Right? Anyways, Suruchi's perspective. So Suruchi actually had two emotional outbursts there. What was two things? First one is actually she had pride, so much of pride that she was so beautiful in the kingdom, and then she was the primary queen. Although she is junior to Suniti, she was more powerful in the position of the kingdom. And Uttanapada gave her that position. And she was very proud. She showed the pride in front of the small guy, that is Dhruva. The second thing that she showed was that she was very envious. These two things we have to actually overcome from childhood. That is pride and envy. It doesn't help at all in Krishna consciousness. Not even a bit. The only, in fact, Sri Prabhupada, the devotees went and asked Prabhupada, how can I actually use everything in Krishna service? Prabhupada said everything is okay except envy. Envy is not possible. In fact, some devotees actually mentioned envy really means envy, no vacancy for happiness in heart. They say that. Right? Envy means it's very dangerous, just like lust. Right? Some devotees who are very good, or Anantala who actually has this very, very nice, what do you call, I won't say aphorisms, but some small one sentence, like something like, lust is the rust of the heart. As long as you have lust in your heart will be rusting. It will not actually have place for love. So you have to let go of it somehow. How? It's a different question. But you have to find out that and then let it go. So here you can understand Suruchi actually showed two emotional outbursts. One was being proud, very proud that I'm such a person. And the second thing was she was very envious of Dhruva, of all the people. Right? Because the enviousness you will not feel envious about someone elder to you. You can be envious of anybody who is better than you. We'll try to understand what is this, how does this envy work. So here, she demonstrated this pride because she showed in front of all the people that Dhruva, although is a small boy, I am better than Dhruva. Because I am the one who is telling everyone else what they need to do. And here, why did actually she feel like that? Because she felt that if this Dhruva was supposed to sit on his father's lap, then Dhruva is on equal level with Uttama. That means Suniti also has equal level with her, which is not possible. I can't accept that. Look at the equation they're putting, right? Dhruva and Uttama are not even related to all this. But Suruchi did not like Suniti or anybody else for that matter, that anybody else can have the same position like her, even in an indirect way. Because Dhruva was going to sit there, Dhruva and this Uttama will become equal. That means Suniti and me have to be same. I will not accept it. So that shows that the envious nature. So what is jealousy? Jealousy means if someone actually has something and we feel that I should also have it. How can that person have? That's called being jealous. Jealousy is also a little bit okay. But envy is very dangerous. Envy means that person should not have it. Even if I die, it's okay. But that person should not have it. And if you have such kind of a what do you call fierce feeling, then it's not possible for somebody to be happy at all. Happiness, that means no vacancy in the heart for happiness. Whatever you do, whatever you do, you will not be happy. You chant Hare Krishna, you do Vaishnava Seva, you do everything. If you cultivate enviousness in your heart for anybody for that matter, on any level, you will not be happy. There is no way you can get happiness. And Krishna himself will not be able to do anything. So we have to understand what is enviousness. And then, especially from a student's life, we should remove this lust and enviousness and jealousy, all this from our heart. So this is what actually Suraj demonstrates from that. Now, Dhruva goes and as Paramatma guides him, as Paramatma, Krishna, who's there in the super soul, understand that, okay, this fellow actually thinks to be doing something. 5-year-old boy, just because he's completely irritated by his father and stepmothers and mother's incapability to help him out, he's gone, let me help. Narada Muni comes there. Somehow, Narada Muni comes and then sees, oh boy, very nice, you're actually going to forest? And immediately Dhruva says, yes. For what? Then I'm going to actually find the supreme person I've got it. Do you know him? And Narada Muni, because he's a saintly person, and Dhruva would have seen him in the court of Uttanapada. He recognized him as a great personality and appreciated him, thank you. And immediately Narada Muni blessed him and said, okay, a small boy like this should not be irritated. There will be ups and downs in life. You should not be irritated because the material world is like that. There will sometimes be things which is happening as per your plan. Sometimes you will actually have things which will not happen in your plan. But everything will pass, everything will go away. You don't have to actually be worried. There's one nice story I heard some time back. Once a king actually asked the ministers, all of them, give me some indication, something that I want to remember, or something that I can follow, that whenever I feel very sad, I should be happy. I should become happy. And whenever I'm very happy, I should feel sad. People all, either it's cooked up or something, but at least it has some sense. The court just decides what to do. So he made one ring. In the ring he'll write, this shall do pass. This will also pass. And he gives it to the king. So the king, whenever he's very happy, he'll look at the ring and say, this will also pass. He'll feel sad. My happiness will go away after some time. And whenever he's sad, he'll look into it, oh, this will also pass. That means I'll become happy someday, right? So the temporary world, ups and downs will always be there. So Narada Muni tells him, don't be bothered about all those things. Your age is for playing around. Just go find your own friends and play. Why are you wasting your time in all these things? And going to the Supreme Lord and seeing him is not practically easy, very difficult. Because he tells that Rishi came, you are seeing that Rishi had come to your, when he meditated for 60,000 years, 30,000 years like this. Dhruva is not bothered at all. Dhruva has a goal. That goal, just like in Bhagavatam is mentioned, Akhama Sarva Kamova Moksha Kamo Dharati Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. In that, he is Sarva Kama. Dhruva. Most of the people are in the world, in the conditioned world, they are not Akama, that they don't have any desire. They all have desires. And a few people may be interested in liberation. But everyone is Sarvakami. You give me this, you give me that, right? You'll go to the Lord and then pray to the Lord. My Lord, give me this. From student life itself, give me good marks in this subject. This subject is horrible. Make me pass this subject. You go pray everything. Even after, as you grow up, we keep praying all the time. But we never ask the Lord, did you have your breakfast? No. We'll always think about this. So that everyone is Sarvakami. That is why this Dhruva Maharaj pastime is very important. Because Sarvakami will get satisfied with. So Dhruva I hear whatever you are saying, but this so-called cock and bull more. In fact, in our Krishna consciousness, we should actually not anger too much. Right? Then your mind will be calm. But he's a Kshatriya, he's a born Kshatriya, his blood is boiling, and he told Narada Muni, I cannot take it. So he asked Narada Muni, help me, what do I do? You have to know this. I don't think I'll complete the full pastime, but at least we'll read whatever we can tonight and take some questions. And Dhruva asked Narada Muni, you tell me if you know the process to see the Supreme Lord. And Narada Muni obviously is always having the Lord in his heart. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Krishna is always in the heart of Narada Muni. Wherever he goes, the place of pilgrimage. And Narada Muni tells Dhruva, it's possible, but you have to do kathor tapasya, you have to do a lot of austerity, otherwise the Lord will not appear in front of you. And immediately Dhruva says, anything you tell me, let me hear. So he says, please go to this Madhuvan. There is actually Dhruva Jila. If you go there, the Lord appeared there. Vishnu appeared there to actually bless Dhruva. And Dhruva's desire was that, Narada Muni, I have a desire. The desire is that I don't want to sit on my father's lap. I want to prove to my father that I can get a kingdom better than him. Not even his father, grandfather. Father is Uttarapada. Grandfather is Swayambhu. Grandfather is Brahma. Dhruva Maharaja told Narada, I want a kingdom greater than Brahma. She's a Kshatriya, that spirit is there. I don't want all these, don't give me settle and say on ordinary fellow's lap I want to sit. No, no, no. If I want to do it, I will do big time. Give me something big. Now this fellow will definitely actually achieve what he wants because he has that desire, right? See, many of us, we don't have a desire to go back to Godhead. We don't have a desire. We just mechanically follow Krishna consciousness. When you go and cry in front of the Lord, I'm stuck here. I don't know how to get out of it. Please help me. Guru Maharaj, please help me. So when you cry at least once in a day, sitting somewhere, then slowly that hard desire will come that I want to go back to God. Then all these things you will get the determination to follow. That is why Dhruva's determination you can see. 5-year-old boy, I'm not able to accept it. How can a 5-year-old boy alone go to forest, not afraid of snakes or any evil things or anything, lions? Amazing, really, right? It's really amazing. But anyway, so this Dhruva hears from Narada Muni. Narada Muni tells him how to worship on the Supreme Lord's form, what needs to be done, how you should follow the austerity, and he gives him the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Dhruva actually practices this for 6 months. And how he follows it actually is the remainder of the chapter. I don't think I'll be able to cover. I'll take some questions if somebody has. I'll stop here. If you have anybody has questions, I'll take that. Because 9:10 is the time given, right? Can we actually continue beyond that, or other programs have to start on time? Okay, any questions so far? Any? I see some questions on online. Yeah, so here there are some more things that there. As we go along, we'll see that although Suniti told the Supreme Lord to find the Supreme Lord to Dhruva, it was because of Suruchi became so angry that he wanted to see the Supreme Lord. The anxiety came because of Suruchi, that to see the Supreme Lord. Suniti only pointed, see, that's where you have to go. The question asked here is, Suniti told Dhruva Maharaj, to worship the Supreme Person of Godhead. So Suniti should be the Guru, right? But Suruchi was considered as Guru. Again, actual Guru who initiates is Narada Muni. The Vartama Prakasha Guru who points the direction is Suniti. But who is Suruchi then? So Suruchi's position is that she creates that kind of an anxiety in the heart that he needs to get the Supreme Lord. Now, there are different kinds of Shiksha Gurus. The Shastra actually, the Acharyas mentioned that Suruchi actually is more inspiring because he made it happen, right? Suniti just said, okay, be peaceful, don't worry, everything will be fine, you can see the Lord, you just do your dharma, and things like that. And he did not accept. Suruchi said, if you really want to sit, die. Imagine that kind of somebody comes and tells Mangalarati, we are half asleep and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, like that. Someone hits on our head with a stick and say, when sannyasi comes and hits us like this, so you're chanting, you want to go back to God. How will you be chanting for the remainder of the day? Right? But that person would have hit out of causeless mercy, okay? Right? So that is what Suruchi did. Suruchi actually created such a kind of a desire in Dhruva's heart. He was not able to forget that I need to see the Supreme Lord and I'm going to ask kingdom greater than my grandfather. That was his only motive. He didn't go for devotion service. But everything else happened later. Right? So that way, Suruchi is considered as a better guru than Suniti. Of course, Suniti also went back to God because of Dhruva's position. Right? So it's interesting to know that the acharyas actually see these episodes in very, very different angles. When you read the past time, it says Suniti was there, Suruchi was there. It's like the Ambar Chitra Katha. Oh, Suniti was one mother, Suruchi was one mother, Suruchi told to go, and they fought and went. That's all we know. But what are the learnings? You can see the acharyas mentioning so many different aspects that one has to actually create that kind of a determination, the Tivra Bhakti in the service of the Lord, that I want to come back to you. I've had enough of that in this world. If you go and pray to the Lord like that, then the Lord will create situations for you so that you can make progress. Otherwise, every day you'll be doing devotion service, you'll become mechanical. That is better than not doing, but that does not take you back to God in one lifetime. Because it's like if somebody wants to go to US and say, whenever my number comes, I'll go. Your number may not come. If you go and then talk to the fellow, hey, give me this visa stamping, give me this visa stamping, that fellow will think like, okay, this fellow is irritating here. Let me give him, let him get away. Right? Like that, in the positive sense, when you actually go and ask the Lord, please help me, I want to come back to you, I want to be a nice devotee of yours. Then if you do that, then you actually make progress faster. Right? No questions? Yes.
Could you mention that wife has upper hand in making decisions?
Say that again.
In Vedic life, proper Vedic life, married life, the wife has upper hand in making decisions or to mention something. Can you elaborate on that? How does it differ between becoming a unexpected husband?
Okay. The question is very, not for the youth forum, but generally, the question is basically, in the Vedic system, it's mentioned that the wife has an upper hand than the husband in making decisions. But how does one avoid becoming a henpecked husband? Right? It's a different dimension altogether. In the Vedic society, what happens is the life of a Grihamedi is centered around the sex life. And that has to happen only because of women, otherwise it's not possible. And if your wife is not happy, then you can't get what you want. That way they'll always give the upper hand to the wife. Again, this is not a Grihastha ashram. This is a Vedic system where if you want to actually have a very peaceful, happy family of a lot of fun, celebration and things like that. Not Krishna consciousness. Because in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is the one who is getting celebrated. We are all celebrating him. And all male or female doesn't matter. All of them are same in front of the Lord's eyes. And girl or boy is just external appearance. All of them actually are supposed to serve the Lord. Our festival is only one, that we worship the Supreme Lord and celebrate the Lord more and more. But in Vedic system, every home used to actually have like that. Independently they wanted to enjoy it. And if you want to do that, then women has to have upper hand. If you don't consult the wife and take a decision, the wife will be unhappy. If the wife is unhappy, then you will not get what you want there. No proper food. Udara, pasta, these three things will not work. If three things doesn't work, you will not be happy, family will not be happy. That is it's not being high. Sometimes they say, in fact, Sri Prabhupada used to say, some brahmachari who wanted to actually get married, and he was a nice brahmachari. Prabhupada used to actually say this. You have to do all these things. You have to buy bangles, you want to buy saris, you have to do all these things, and you have to literally be handpicked. Do you want to be like that? And you used to say no. This is a way of motivating, just be brahmachari. You can go back to God peace. Nothing to say that women are bad. They do their role. But Sri Prabhupada used to mention like this. So in the Vedic system, that's how it is. In one sense, just like if you see Shukracharya's case or Diki's husband Kashyapa Muni, Prabhupada mentioned henpecked only there. If you see in the purports, Prabhupada mentioned that for Diti, although it was not the right time, Kashyapa Muni looking at her beauty was henpecked, saying that okay, that's how Hiranyaksha came, right? But that's very clear, because if you want to be happy at home, Grihini, that is the woman at home, must be happy, and she has to have the upper hand. That's how it works. That's very clear, not Krishna conscious. That does help you. If it doesn't help you, we'll talk later separately. It doesn't require for youth forum. Thank you. I don't see any other questions there. Yes, Prabhu. One last question you can take. Okay.
Prabhu, we hear the determination of Dhruva.
Definition of Dhruva?
Determination.
Determination, yes.
But when we see our life and the way we run that, we see the challenge. At least I see a challenge that being determined has been the biggest challenge.
Being determined is the biggest challenge. How do we do that? And Dhruva was all alone. There was no association, no ISKCON was there, no Brahmacharya ashram, all alone. You can see Dhruva succeeded, whereas Jadabharata failed. If Jadabharata was in a Brahmacharya ashram, they would have said, "Arey Bapre, you actually have left everything and come and you are actually getting attacked by a deer. Kya ho raha hai?" One lifetime, 2 lifetimes, he didn't have to wait. But for Dhruva, how did he manage this? How was he able to actually really overcome all the situations? We are not able to get the determination. Dhruva had this, I will achieve this what I want. That determination was there with him. And we don't have so much of determination like that. Why? Because we feel we are comfortable only in this world. There's nothing that you are actually losing. Are you not? See, if you're not in Krishna consciousness, are you not getting food? You're getting no. Are you not getting sense gratification? You're getting it. Are you not getting what you call money or whatever you want? All dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything is there. Why would you actually take to Krishna consciousness? If you actually, because everyone else is telling, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, I will also go and say no. If you actually have that fierce thing, something I have lost, if you see Srila Prabhupada disciples, their determination is way far out than the next generation. Why is that? Why? Because they actually had something that they wanted and they knew they are not going to get it by any other means. They were extremists actually. They tried everything, they couldn't get the happiness. And when Srila Prabhupada said, I'm going to give you this paradise, something that which is impossible for anybody to give, they took it. One of the pastimes that comes to my mind is Yamuna Mataji. When in the train they were traveling from Agra to some place, Prabhupada asked that I want to actually have hot rice and some pickle or something. And they were able to get a hot rice there, they hadn't planned. So she went all the way to the pantry and said, I want to cook for my spiritual master. And he said, obviously you cannot do all these things. Like, we will tell, no, we will only cook. Give us a place, we'll do on our own. They said no. She immediately was very, very determined that I want to serve my spiritual master. She did not take an answer that I'll go and tell Srila Prabhupada, it's not possible, Srila Prabhupada. She said, I will jump out of the train. And they all said, foreigner jumping out of the train, become a big court case, become a big problem. That fellow came and said, okay, do what you want to do. And she brought the hot rice, a plate of hot rice for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, these are my queens of Krishna consciousness. How did they get such a determination? If I was told, I won't talk about others, if my Guru Maharaj comes and just go and do this, I won't ask them. If they say it's not possible, I'll come and tell Guru Maharaj, they're saying it's not possible. The devotee is supposed to go and find out opportunities, can't accept a no. They did that because they knew that Srila Prabhupada, because these are all associates of Srila Prabhupada, they came to just show us. It's not practically easy to get such a determination. But if you keep hearing this Nityam Bhagavata Sevya again and again, little, start increasing your faith and you'll get that determination. Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Bhagavati Bhaktam Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Then, what is the next one? After that? Kama Lokas, then you can see that, right? Then the last one, whatever attachment we have for this material world, right? Chidyante that will all actually go away. But that will happen only if you read this Bhagavatam every day. Either you should be serving a person Bhagavata every day or reading this book Bhagavatam every day. If these two are not happening, you will not get the determination. It will become a way of a life. Krishna consciousness will be a way of life, not the life. Right? So one has to practice it. That is why when you come in the mornings, when you actually see the brahmacharis, all of them, the devotees are chanting, and you get inspiration saying that they are able to do, why can't they do at least once in a week, at least sometime, once in a while. And that's why we go for yatra, right? So in yatra we actually try to do whatever we can, not for fun. It's just making us more and more advanced, be dedicated. It will take some time. Overnight you won't get, I haven't seen anybody getting that overnight determination that I will become like this. Prabhupada disciples are all like that. They are far out, very, very determined. Like every sannyasi for the matter, Dhruva Maharaja or Seshadripuram Maharaja, all these personalities, just everything and came. They showed this the forest, Mayapur, built this is the kingdom of God. Prabhupada said, oh, this is actually the kingdom of God, please build it. And they built. And today Mayapur was not the Mayapur 40, 50 years back. Very different. So how will they get the determination to leave their own country and do these things? They are all eternal associates of Prabhupada. But still, you want that determination, you have to hear Bhagavatam every day. From the representatives, then when you hear Srila Prabhupada's message, our Guru's message, automatically you will start getting the determination. But if you don't do that, just standing Hare Krishna, it will take longer time. It will work. This standing of Hare Krishna will work. But when you have intelligence, you should try to use that. At least 1 hour a day, if you actually spend time, then there is 99% possibility that all this will go away very shortly. Right? That helps. There's no other shortcut. Actually, one devotee actually cheated me long back. He said, shortcut to perfection. He said, what is it? He said, attend Mangalarati every day. There's no other shortcut. There's no other way. You have to follow all the principles that Srila Prabhupada has given. There's no other way out. I mean, the olden days, they should suddenly come and bless, you become a devotee, like that. Those things, I don't think will happen. Not happen like that. Yes, then, thank you so much. We are always on time. Any questions there, we'll take it offline. We'll talk to you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much.
So it was a nice katha, Dhruva katha. So finally, take home is we should keep on doing again and again.
Yes.
So then we get some determination. So let us thank Kripamoya Gauranga for having given a nice katha and lesson by one time loudly chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.